Hello and welcome to BMB's Primetime Fantasy Report, where we will tell you what is happening in and around the world of the NFL and being a helpful handbook so you can take the trophy this year in your fantasy football league. I'm Tom Mauro, a fan of the New York Jets and the host of Sports Talk.
I'm Manno, a huge New England Patriots fan and the host of the Manno Minute and Manno on the Street.
I'm Sean McQuillan. I'm the host of the Sports Report on the morning announcements, and I'm a huge New York Jets fan.
I'm Finnegan Corcoran-Doolin, and I'm a huge Giants fan.
Thanks, guys. So I think the first thing we must discuss is the amazing performance from none other than Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes was on fire last week against the Baltimore Ravens. When you have two of the biggest names and two former league MVPs, you will see something special. With Monday's win, Patrick Mahomes now leads the team in a 12-game winning streak, as well as becoming the fastest quarterback in the NFL to 10,000 career passing yards. Patrick Mahomes becomes Lamar Jackson's official kryptonite, as the Ravens have lost 3 of 4 against Mahomes and the Chiefs.
The only scary thing is that Mahomes says that this isn't the best he can do. In the month of September, Mahomes is 10-0 and has never thrown an interception, which is insane. I think Mahomes deserves the title Mr. September. Here's a preview montage of the work that Patrick Mahomes has done on and off the field.
When you look at Patrick Mahomes, the way he can extend the play, the way he can throw on the run, it's like, how do you defend that? Like, do you guys think there's any way that you can defend Patrick Mahomes in the Kansas City Chiefs offense?
Well, Manno, to jump in right there, tell me a better quarterback that, last year, throwing a left-handed pass to Tyreek Hill for a first down, and on Monday night, an underpass, an underhand shovel to Anthony Sherman for a touchdown. Name another quarterback that's done that.
Nobody can does it. I was watching that play, and Mahomes just goes, here, take it. To Anthony Sherman, just a shovel pass, backyard football. He's like out there playing backyard football against some of the best athletes in the world.
Mahomes and the Chiefs definitely had fun on Monday night. It was a showdown. Couldn't have been a better show there.
So, guys, who do you think our player of the game was yesterday? I think we all kind of agree on one specific person, but let's hear your opinions.
I'm going to have to go Patrick Mahomes. I mean, I just, stated it almost. 5 touchdowns, 4 passing, one rushing, over 300 yards. He just had a day, I mean, there's no other quarterback that's really doing what he's doing right now.
Yeah, and for sure, yeah. Best. I think he's the best QB in the game right now. I know you have Russell Wilson, but Patrick Mahomes, he's unbelievable. And that game yesterday, he showed it against the Baltimore Ravens. But they're a great team. They have a great coach, and he showed it.
Now back to around the NFL. Week 3 was jam-packed with amazing games. Now let's check out the scores of each game.
The first game of the week was on Thursday. It was the Jaguars versus the Dolphins. This was Tyler Davis's first game. He was a Mepham graduate. The end score was 31-13 in the end. This was a crazy game in my opinion because I was expecting the Jaguars to win. Gardner Minshew, I was expecting him, to be that leading quarterback for the Jags this game, and it just wasn't. What do you guys think?
Yeah, Finn, I definitely think this was an upset. I think Gardner Minshew didn't really play well. He threw a pick, while Ryan Fitzpatrick had a pretty good game. 160 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. But the real star of this game was probably James Robinson. He had 2 touchdowns in his first game as starting running back for the Jags.
The 49ers defeated the Giants 36-9 in a battle on Sunday. That was a 1 o'clock game, and the thing I take away from this mostly is how the 49ers use their second-string team. They're out Jimmy Garoppolo. They're out Raheem Mostert. They're out George Kittle. They're out Nick Bosa. They're out all these guys, and they still, beat the Giants. Giants don't have Saquon Barkley or, these other pieces, but that's a 49ers second string team with Nick Mullins at quarterback. And in my case, Nick Mullins had a day. He threw for over 300 yards in the air and had a touchdown.
On Sunday, the Cleveland Browns hosted the Washington football team, and they were defeated from a score of 34-20. And Baker Mayfield has led the Cleveland Browns to their first winning record since 2014. Now, all the questions start flying around again since that 2018 NFL draft. Is Baker Mayfield the future? Is he worth that number one pick?
This Sunday's game involved the Bengals versus the Eagles. This was the first tie of the season and the only tie up to yet. Joe Burrow, the rookie, has had 91 completions in 3 games this season. That is an NFL record. What do you guys think about this game?
Well, it all came down to the final play of regulation, where the Eagles had a field goal set up, and what cost them was a penalty. Those kill teams. Either whether it's during the game or it's towards the end of the game, penalties hurt, and it hurt the Eagles there. If they got that field goal, they could have jumped ahead. But Joe Burrow's, he's proven himself. He's slowly getting up there.
The Bengals need to build around him. Joe Burrow is the future. He is special. LeBron said it best. Joe Burrow is special in all caps. So this Sunday at Gillette Stadium, my New England Patriots defeated the Las Vegas Raiders 36-20. Rex Burkhead leaded the way with 3 touchdowns, having himself a career game. And he really proved that this Patriots rushing attack is one of the best in the league. And Rex himself proved that he can be a bell cow back. What do you guys think?
At first, I didn't think this Patriots team was going to win at all. I did not have too much faith in Cam Newton coming into the Bill Belichick system. But he's proven himself worthy, I think, so far. And Rex Burkhead yesterday showed that he's one of the leaders of that Patriots running back group. As over the years, you really haven't seen a lead back for the Patriots. But maybe it's time someone finally takes that role and steps up.
Yeah, Sean, you're not wrong. I think Cam Newton is a very interesting quarterback for the Patriots. Something they've never really seen before with his rushing skills and everything like that. And this is going to be very fun to watch.
So another big game Sunday was the Bears and Falcons. Mitch Trubisky got benched in the third quarter. And to come on to save the day, Nick Foles. He led his team to another victory, making the Bears 3-0 and making the Falcons suffer 2 losses when they were up in the game that they blew. What are your guys' thoughts on this one?
Typical Falcons. They're blowing a lead like they always do as a Patriots fan. I know all too well the infamous 28-3. But, I really want to take a look at, how talented this Falcons roster is. Their wide receiver core got one of the best in the league, got decimated by injury. Julio Jones didn't play that game. Russell Gage got hurt midway through the game. And I think this Falcons team, despite their early season struggles, they could be good. They could have a turnaround and be really good.
On Sunday, the Buffalo Bills rallied to beat the Los Angeles Rams 35-32 after blowing a 28-3 lead. And Josh Allen just keeps proving every single game now that he's just legit. At first, when he got drafted, I didn't think he had the talent. Now, I am clearly wrong. What do you guys think about that game Sunday?
Yeah, I was going to say something really funny. Jalen Ramsey, right? I know I'm going to go back now 2 years, right, to 2018. I read this the other day. Jalen Ramsey tweeted out, Josh Allen, he's not going to do good in this league. And, look, he won against you guys, right? That's all I'm going to say. I think, look, he proves everyone wrong. And that's something he'll keep doing. Sunday's game involved the Texans versus the Steelers at Heinz Field. This was a crazy game because it was called the Watt competition because J.J. Watt was versing his 2 brothers, Derek Watt and T.J. Watt. In the end, though, the Steelers won. This was obviously a crazy game. What are your guys' thoughts?
Well, Finn, to add in on that, the Steelers stay perfect. 3-0 record. They keep Texans winless. 0-3. James Conner ran for 109 yards and a go-ahead touchdown in this one. That's my player of the game in that one. Running for over 100 yards.
So the Tennessee Titans barely edged past the Minnesota Vikings 31-30. But the big story coming out of this game is 8 members of the Tennessee Titans organization tested positive for COVID-19, of which 3 of them were players, 5 of them were staff. Now, how do you think this could affect the Tennessee Titans' momentum, but also the rest of the league?
Well, I think it could really affect the league, it affects the Titans, right? Because I've heard there's now a lot more rules with the Titans, rather to every other team. But that's just going to affect in the long run of what's going to happen in the league. It's not just going to be the Titans doing these protocols now. It's going to have to be the league. This is a lot of cases. I remember there was only 6 cases around the whole league. This is 8 cases for one team. I think this is crazy.
The first game here in the second window was the Panthers and the Chargers, and what a game it was. First-year coach Matt Rule earns his first win for the Panthers, and the Carolina defense forced 3 Los Angeles turnovers, while Joey Sly kicked 5 field goals, and the Panthers beat the Chargers 21-16. This was a real good game. It came down to the last play for the Chargers when Justin Herbert, first-year quarterback for the Chargers, threw a seam over the middle with Keenan Allen. Allen looked like he wanted to, do a hook and ladder play and try to go and score. He had it wide open to Austin Eckler. Eckler dropped it. I couldn't get past that moment of that afternoon game on Sunday.
Well, did Austin Eckler know that whole play was going to happen?
Right.
Yeah, because that's like a little crazy for all that to happen in one play. It was crazy right there. I mean, I saw that too, and I was like, imagine that was a touchdown. We would have been talking about it for like hours. It was a great play. I was kind of hoping the Chargers were going to take the win because that would have been amazing. The game on Sunday involved the Jets versus the Colts. This was a great victory for the Colts, not only offense and defense, but defense got 27 points on fantasy. This was a really good, amazing team from the Colts. But the Jets, they're not there yet.
Nothing ever goes right with this Jets team. So far, 0-3 to start off the season. They have not scored more than 10 points in one game. And clearly, we are starting to see some problems in this organization. As the young future quarterback of the Jets, Sam Darnold, is possibly starting to become a problem, although I do believe that our head coach, Adam Gase, is hurting his development. And I think it's best that either this week or next week, Adam Gase gets the boot and gets fired.
Well, Sean, to add in on that, I'm speaking, I'm a Jets fan as well as yourself. And this is going to hurt to say. I don't know if Sam Darnold is the future quarterback for the Jets. We've given him 3 seasons. Well, 2, but, we've given him time to prove. He hasn't. We had Le'Veon Bell last year. He hasn't proven himself yet. But that's the offensive line and everything. But Sam Darnold, I don't think is going to be the Jets' future, just the way he's been playing. And this season is the boom or bust season for him. If he has a bad season, the Jets might maybe to look and go for Trevor Lawrence if they have a high draft pick.
Russell Wilson's Seattle Seahawks continued to dominate the NFC West as they defeated the Dallas Cowboys at a score of 38-31. And Russell Wilson set the NFL record with 14 touchdown passes through the first 3 games of the NFL season. I, 1, think that's insane. And 2, he may be starting to come up in that MVP debate. What do you guys think?
100% Q. You said it. 14 touchdown passes through the first 3 games. The only other player that I can pair possibly Russell Wilson with is Patrick Mahomes. They're both on the same level through the first 3 games of the season. Who knows if that's going to last all 16 games of the season, but so far these 2 players are battling for the MVP race, in my opinion.
If Russell Wilson doesn't get a vote for the MVP, I'm going to be mad. He is the second best quarterback in the NFL, and the Seahawks, in my opinion, are the best team in the NFL right now. Another game in the late afternoon window, the Detroit Lions defeat the Arizona Cardinals 26-23, and Detroit snaps their 11-game losing streak. Big story of this game was Kyler Murray, who did not have his best performance, throwing 3 picks, while Matt Stafford on the other side had 270 yards and 2 touchdowns. What do you guys think?
I've said it every season, and I'll say it again. I always think Matthew Stafford may be the most underrated player in the NFL. He proved to me once again yesterday that he is capable of being an elite tier quarterback. 22 for 31, 270 yards, and threw 2 touchdowns against a very supreme defense.
The last game we're going to talk about here in the afternoon window is the Buccaneers and the Broncos. Buccaneers defeated the Broncos 28-10 as Tom Brady threw for 3 touchdown passes. And man, that Buccaneers defense, led by Shaq Barrett, celebrated his homecoming with a pair of sacks, 1 for a safety in Tampa Bay's 28-10 victory over the winless Denver Broncos on Sunday. The Broncos now take on the Jets, both winless, 0-3, coming Thursday night. Tom Brady didn't look too good in his first start as a Buccaneer, but might be turning things around.
The last game of Sunday was Sunday Night Football, the Packers versus the New Orleans Saints. This was a very interesting game because it was Aaron Rodgers versus Drew Brees, 2 great quarterbacks in their own way. Both threw for 3 passing touchdowns. They had a great game. Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers still stay undefeated. They had a very good game. And no Devontae Adams, their best receiver, without a doubt. They had a great game.
So a lot of great games we saw in week 3, and a lot of key players too. Since it's a fantasy football show, we have to show you our top 5 players of the week in fantasy points. Coming in at number 5, we have James Robinson from the Jacksonville Jaguars, who ranked up 30.9 points this week. Robinson had 11 rushing attempts, but only came up with 46 rushing yards. He did, however, come up with the only 2 touchdowns in the Jaguars' loss this past Thursday night against the Dolphins. The future's looking bright for this undrafted running back rookie.
Coming in at number 4 from the Buffalo Bills is quarterback Josh Allen, who came up with 31.24 fantasy points in Sunday's victory against the LA Rams. Allen passed for 311 yards and 4 touchdown passes. Allen has been one of the best quarterbacks this season and never fails to help your fantasy out every week.
In the 3rd spot on this list is Russell Wilson from the Seattle Seahawks, who passed for 315 yards and made 27 completions and threw 5 touchdown passes. Wilson racked up 36.8 points in their close victory versus the Dallas Cowboys. Wilson is a phenomenal player and an even better teammate. Wilson is cool, calm in a situation, and this is great to help any team.
In second place from the Kansas City Chiefs, it's my Mahomie, Patrick Mahomes, who scored 40 points and helped me take the victory for fantasy. He threw for 385 yards, ran in for a touchdown, and threw for 4 touchdown passes in Monday night's game against Baltimore Ravens. Mahomes also became the fastest player in history to pass for 10,000 yards, as I mentioned before.
In first player, this player scored 2 receiving touchdowns and ran for 139 yards. He put up 44.7 fantasy points. This week, it's none other than Alvin Kamara from the New Orleans Saints. Kamara was the star of the Saints in Sunday night's loss against the Packers. All these guys definitely deserved to be on that list. I wonder how much this list will be until next week.
While on the topic of fantasy, Tom, Sean, Finn, and I all participate in our own fantasy. So guys, how did your week in fantasy go? Because mine was a roller coaster.
Well, Matt, to say less, I actually won in my game, 139 to 116, and the top player of the week in fantasy I had on my roster, Alvin Kamara. He's always, dealing and doing his thing. Some big other names, DeAndre Hopkins, Deshaun Watson I had as well. So, I got some big key players, and Kamara just produced this week as he always does. Q, how about yourself?
Well, unfortunately, I had an extremely rough week. Only I scoring 113.78 points, and my opponent scoring 185.18 points. My team currently right now is nothing without Saquon Barkley as he tore his ACL, And Lamar Jackson, who had a rough week in Kansas City, my team is not looking sharp. Finn, what about you?
Yeah, well, Sean, mine was kind of like yours. I lost 151 to 97. This was, I think, if I'm not too sure, my first loss in this league. Unfortunate loss, but my high scoring was not a player. It was the Colts' defense. They did amazing. They got 2 touchdowns, 3 INTs, and a safety. Unbelievable. Manno, how was your week in fantasy?
I had a great week. My Ottawa Firebirds took down the Louisville Bolts 143-126. And the big story of my game was the trade that went down between me and the Bolts before the season, where I gave up Tariq Cohen and Tyler Lockett, who went off with 37.0. So I was a little mad about how Lockett performed after I traded him away. But the guy I got in return, Nick Chubb, him and Dalvin Cook combined for 50 points. So that was able to propel me to the win.
That would just about wrap up the first edition of BMB's Primetime Fantasy Report. I'm Tom Mauro.
I'm at Manno.
I'm Sean McQuillan. Let's go Jets.
I'm Finnegan Corcoran-Doolin, and let's go Giants.
We'll see you next week for Week 4.